Good morning, St. Francis, and good morning, people of God. It is Sunday, the 11th day of the month of May, 2025. It is the fourth Sunday of the Easter season. It is the 22nd day of the Easter season. It is also Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day to everyone who is celebrating such a day today. We have not come yet to the halfway point in our celebration of the Easter season. We still got 3 more days to go before we hit 25. But now our Easter season takes a little bit of a turn because we have moved away from the immediate resurrection appearances and the empty tomb and what have you. Last Sunday was the last Sunday in which we would have any kind of encounter like that. Now we take the time to begin to integrate in these next couple of days, in the next couple of weeks, whatever it is, what it really means for Christ to rise and how to understand this resurrection, perhaps in a new and different way this year that we are celebrating it. Always remember the Easter season is a week of weeks, so 7 weeks, but yet 8 Sundays from Easter Sunday until Pentecost. So again, it is an entirely wonderful understanding of a new creation that is meant to be happening with and among us as people of faith. We are not to go back to the way that we were before the Easter season begins. It is not just basically taking this as some strange interlude between sinning and sinning, because that's not what we've been created for, and that's not what we are about. We have to remember that we are much more than this. And so again, this whole understanding of 8 Sundays, an 8th day, a way that breaks out of this week that we kind of established based upon God's creative abilities in Genesis 1, but that God decides is not enough too, and that God brings us into something more with Christ's resurrection, again, which was something, again, a Messiah was promised, but not a Messiah who defeats death, a Messiah who basically defeated earthly oppressions and things like that, but now a Messiah who defeats everything that stands in the way of the fulfillment of our humanity. And so this Easter season needs to be something always that recreates us in a new and dynamic way, that we do not return to the old ways, and that we move away from them into wonder and to beauty in our lives. And so this fourth Sunday, always known from many centuries ago as Good Shepherd Sunday, in which we take a look at what it means to be a good shepherd. And in John's Gospel, basically we hear about this shepherd, again, who takes care, again, of a flock that knows him and a flock that he knows. And again, a flock that is given to him by God. Again, this good shepherd as Christ. This flock that basically will not be snatched, out of God's hand and out of Christ's hand, because there is this connection that is established by God to what this flock is and who this shepherd is. Again, the sense of knowing, again, that this God holds us in his hand, that our God holds our hand. Our God is not sitting apart from us. Our God is not sitting distant from us. Our God is not sitting in judgment of us. But our God is asking us, do we truly want this relationship? Do we truly understand the power of this relationship that we have with God? Do we truly know what it means, again, to be part of the life of God and to have God's life within us? That is, again, the wonder and beauty of where Easter allows us to think again of what it means, to be this people of promise and this people of hope in this world, which we must be. This is not just for the saints. These are not just for perfect people, because saints were not perfect people, nor is any human being ever perfect. Even as much time as they spend in devotions and in churches and whatever it is, that is not ever enough. It is for us to live, again, fully and wonderfully and beautifully, recognizing, cognizant of the fact that God lives and that God lives within us, that God lives in this world that God has given to us. And what does that mean for us? How are we supposed to move forward with that knowledge, that wonderful and beautiful knowledge? Again, it's also a question to ask, what does it mean to be shepherd? And again, since Pope Leo was just elected on Thursday, what does it mean? Again, how fortuitous it is. The Holy Spirit decides to work in this way. What does it mean, again, for Pope Francis? It's very difficult to do this. It's like doing no Alleluias during Lent. What does it mean for Pope Leo, to be a person who guides us? How will he guide us? How did Pope Francis guide us? Was there enough, that allowed for the Holy Spirit to work, again, in any life of any person who was a shepherd? And will that Holy Spirit be listened to? Will that Holy Spirit be, whatever the Holy Spirit dares us to do, will we take up the Holy Spirit's dare and to move forward because that's what the Holy Spirit does. Holy Spirit does not keep us in dead center. Holy Spirit does not keep us spinning in our tracks. Holy Spirit does not keep us basically in a immovable place, just because we think that it's comfortable and we think that this is the best place it should be and we're comfortable in it. The Holy Spirit constantly moves us forward because we are always moving forward to that one in one that God expects from us. Again, this whole idea of Pope Leo's, his motto, that we are one in the one. Again, that this is what we have to kind of remember. And so what does this mean? What also, though, does it mean even more deeply for us to be shepherds to each other? Because it isn't just male members of this community of faith that are supposed to get this name shepherd, but it is all of us, again, who dare to use our faith to lead and to guide, who dare to use our faith to protect and to nurture, men and women together. What does it mean for us to be shepherd, and how do we put that shepherding to use? Because sometimes we find it in those who are expressly labeled as shepherds within our church, sometimes we do not. And so this is where we as faithful need to take up our role and take up our witness as is necessary. God expects this from us. God needs this from us. And in this Easter season, again, not even meeting to the halfway point yet, we are asked to put into effect what it means to shepherd each other into that wonder and beauty of God's love, into that wonder and beauty of who Christ is for us, into that wonder and beauty of the new life that God gives us in this holy season. A continued blessed Easter season, St. Francis and people of God. May the Lord give you his peace.